Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I'm making a really fun card today. It is called a gatefold with the book bind, and it's really cute. I'm using an image from Printable Cuttable Creatables. I'll have a link in the information box with all the information. I'm also going to have a link to my blog because I'll have the measurements as well. But the base is 11 by 4.5, or excuse me, 4 1/4. You're going to score it at 2 1/8, 3 3/8, and 8 7/8. So that's 2 1/8, 3 3/8, and 8 7/8. Now I'm cutting here are all the decorative pieces. So for the front, you're going to have, if you decide to mat, the cardstock mat is going to be, you're going to need 4 of them, 4 by 1 7/8, and then the pattern papers are 3 3/4 by 1 5/8. So a quarter of an inch shorter than the cardstock mats. Now for that one little side on the left side, which is kind of like where the book binding, if you want to call it that, is, the mat is 4 by 1 and the pattern paper is 3 3/4 by 7/8. In the inside, you're going to need some plain cardstock. The matte color is a 4-inch square, and then the place where you're going to put your greeting or your sentiment is 3 3/4 inch square. Now I use white, but obviously you can use whatever color you want. So as I'm cutting all of these measurements, I'm going to go through and try to use as many scraps as possible, but you know how that goes. Even though you have lots of scraps, they never seem to be the right size, and you got to pull out a bigger piece of paper, but that's okay. I really wanted this to be fall themed because of the super cute crow on the fence with the pumpkin is basically fall because of the pumpkins. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a Thanksgiving card or even a Halloween, but it definitely could be either one of those. I did not show how I put it together. The cut files from Printable Cuttable Creatables are usually, well, I'm going to say they're always, they're pretty easy to put together and to figure out. And what I like to do is I like to lay all my pieces on top of each other without the adhesive, because a lot of times when I just think, oh, I know how it goes, and I put adhesive on, I always end up having like the wrong side or the underside, or I have it backwards. So I always like to lay it out first, even on something like this with multiple pieces, because I just think it ends up being a lot easier in the long run and you have less oops moments. So here's the card. Look at how cute that is. It's very simple, like I mentioned. And the thing I love about fun fold cards is they look so difficult because they've got all these fancy folds, right? But they're so easy, especially if you have the measurements and the directions in front of you. So like I mentioned before, I'll have a link to my blog, which I'll list the measurements again, and I'll also have any links that you need as far as to the Printable Cuttable Creatables website. And I also have a coupon code so you can get 15% off your order when you use it. So I'll have that in the detail box. So right now I'm just adhering all of the pieces together. I really like the pattern papers that I'm using. I love that gingham, that orange. It's like my favorite, and I'm almost running out of it, which is like, So in order to make this that book binding fold card, I'm putting adhesive on that one little extra part right there, that small thing on the left. So that's what gives it that book binding look. Simple. And now I'm going to add the piece that was the 1 inch by 4. I don't have it. Yeah, the 1 by 4 or 4 by 1. And I'm just going to add all of the panels that I just put together. Now, of course, my ATG poops out on me, as I'm filming, which I feel like that happens all the time. But then again, if I'm using it all the time, of course, it's going to happen every time when I film. And as far as the crow, now I only want to put adhesive on the portion that's going to be adhered to that right panel. So if you notice that, it's just kind of that last fence post and then most of that larger pumpkin. So as I'm putting this down here, I'm thinking that piece might just be too big for this card. So I went back to my Cricut and I cut out just the crow resting on a pumpkin. And the reason why is I didn't want just that one little area being adhered to that right side, because the image was way too big for that. So don't fret if you follow my channel, and if you don't, please hit that subscribe button. You know that I used that cutout for a different type of card, an easel. Well, it was supposed to be an easel card. It's a whole thing. It was a flap card. But anyhow, so I just highlighted with some white marker, and it looks so cute. Look at this crow. He's adorable. I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and make sure you leave a comment, and I'd appreciate it. Again, just look at all the details in the information box, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.